What's up, y'all? This is Andrew McCain. Here I am with another video doing a review on another keyboard. Now, this one is a classic, absolute classic keyboard. If you've been around for a little while like I have been, you remember when this keyboard first came out. You remember the impact that it's made all these years. And this keyboard is still holding strong to this day. So I just wanted to ask the question. 21 years later now, is the Yamaha Motif ES still worth it in 2024, right? This keyboard came out in 2003. It was the second in the series of the Yamaha Motif series. So the first one was the Yamaha Motif, and we call it now the Classic, the Motif 6, 7, and 8. I had the Classic that, like I say all the time, that was my baby. I had that for a long time. I think I got it in 01 or 02, and I had it all the way up until about 2018. 2018, I believe it was. So I had it for a long time. And then this was the second version. Now, part of the, as great of a board as that first Motif was, some of the shortcomings that it had was that it barely had any type of polyphony at all. And that's a big reason why that I ended up parting ways with it. I was just, it's like, I can't layer, more than two sounds without things cutting out. So they definitely improved on that with this one, and they added a lot of different sounds. One of the main differences, because it looks very similar, but the faders are different. And these buttons here for like the sequencer are different as well. But other than that, it's the silver board just like that one. But it has a lot of different sounds that the Motif Classic didn't have. One of the main sounds that are different is the flagship sound, as I like to call it, which is, in this case, is the full grain. And the power grand was the flagship sound for the Motif Classic. So that was a big change. Definitely a different sound, right? And just like the power grand was on a whole lot of gospel records throughout the 2000s, the full grain was as well. And I'm just going to start with playing with that, just as a reminder, or if you haven't heard it somehow, just to let you know what that sounds like. So here's the full grain. Yeah, so definitely a different sound from the power grain, but this is a very full sound. And similar to the power grain, it cuts through very well in the mix. So that's one of the main things that, stood out first, with the difference between this and the first one. Because at the time, I'm like, they look exactly the same. It took me a while to realize, what the real difference was. All right, so that's the full grain. So I'm just going to go through some of the sound. I'm not going to go through everything. They have dark grain in here like the Classic did, but that dark grain in this one is based off of the full grain sample, so it sounds different from the first version of it. All right, so that's let me go now to the home grain, which is an underrated sound for me. Okay, so let me play through that. Yeah, so that's a very mellow sound. I don't hear it too often, but my bro Kevin Powell uses that a lot in soul sessions, which is like a Monday night music thing that he does every once in a while. And it sounds dope. Let me go to the ballad keys. Yeah. Let me see a couple more that I could play. I've done a lot of these reviews, so I don't want to make it too repetitive with some of these sounds. So one sound that stood out to me from this board that wasn't on the Classic. The Classic had a lot of dope EP sounds, but this one was unique to this board starting out, and it's the R&B soft. All right, they've been making it or putting it in every board ever since, up to the new Montage still has it. So that goes to show how dope of a sound it is. All right, so let me play through that. Yeah, so I love that sound. The tremolo on it is just is beautiful. It's sweet. Um, One of the things I love about this board is the feel of the keyboard. Out of all the motifs, this is probably my second favorite, or I should say Yamaha boards. It's probably my second favorite. I did a video maybe 2, 3 years ago now on my favorite keypads. The only one I like better than this is the Classic, the original one. Maybe because I'm so used to it, but it just feels great. But this one I actually like better than like the Motif F8, which I like, but I like this one better. Let me go to the soft case now. Yeah. All right. Let me go through a few more. Let me see. I want to see. Try to decide if I want to stick with just pianos. So here's a dope sound that wasn't on the original Motif. J-pop bells, right? So this is one of those go-tos that we in church like to use a lot. And sometimes I know I'll add it to like the high end of the piano, and then we use it a lot in production. So this is J-pop. Yep. So that's a dope bell sound that it just works. It's not too bright. Not well. I mean, I guess depending on who you talk to, but it's not too heavy. It's just light enough, and to me it really works really well, right? So yeah, that's the J-pop bell. So let me category search just to see if I can find um, anything that I remember that wasn't on the first one. So the first, as far as strings go, there was the background strings on the first motif. I don't believe that ends mix was on there, so let me play that really quick. I could be wrong, but let me play All right, dope. So yeah, that's a really nice string sound that I like to patch together with some of my piano patches. All right, brass sound that's dope from here is the After 1984. And also they have Profi, which was introduced. All right, so I'm gonna go over to perform so I can start playing through some patches. All right, so one of the dope sounds on here is the back pad, which is a pad sound, obviously. So I have less strings there, but I turn that down. Listen to just the back pad. Yeah, so that back pad is a nice pad to use for like worship stuff. All right, let me show you like what I could use for like upbeat. So I just showed you those synth brass patches. Let me add in After 1984 to this full grain that I'm playing with here. All right. I'll turn down the release. Yeah, as you can see, that's right and ready for church. And then let's hear that full grain with Profi now. Yeah, so as you can see, like that's just those two alone is already getting you ready and getting you right for church. Now, one thing I learned about the Motif ES8 much later is that even though it doesn't have memory on the board, you could put flash memory in there. So if you buy flash memory, you can open up the board and put that in there. I already made a video about some of the sounds that I added to it. The only drawback is because it's an older board, you have to re-put them on every time that you start the board up, and it takes forever. So that's one of the drawbacks. Of course, with the montage, you put it on there once and it's on there until you decide to take it off. Like it's going to stay. So every time you turn on the board, you don't have to load anything. It's already there. But here, unfortunately, you got to sit here, wait like 5-10 minutes, and you don't always have that kind of time. But the sounds I have on here, you know, if I was still playing this board every week, I'd say in a lot of ways it might be worth it. All right, so let me see. So let me show you one of the sounds I have, which is the piano one. Yep, that's that good old piano one. Now let me show you the EP2. Yeah, so if you've ever watched any of my videos, you already know I absolutely love that EP2. So all in all, this for years was that type of board where if people ask like for a conference, if they ask me like, what board do you want? I'd be like, just get an ES8. Can't go wrong with that, right? Because you got your 4 layers and, you know, it has just all the right sounds that you need in order to, you know, excel in a church service. So for years, I would just be like, you know, just get an ES8. Right? If not, you know, XFA, if XFA wasn't available, I just get the ES8, we'd be good. And I know plenty of churches that still to this day still have this ES8 in their church, and that's the main board that they use. It's still valuable. Yes, it has some things about it that's very outdated, but you know, if I can't have one of the very new boards, give me that ES8, right? It still has its place in 2024, even though it's a 21-year-old board. It still holds up a lot of value 21 years later. That speaks to how ahead of their time that Yamaha was at the time with these boards and with their products. All right, shout out to Yamaha. All right, well, thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe. A lot of y'all been watching all my videos and just refuse to subscribe. What we doing? What we doing? Come on, y'all, help me out. We on the road to 10K. Help me out, y'all. All right, God bless you guys. I'll catch y'all later.